Early voting is underway in Massachusetts. Meanwhile, voter ID laws have been a topic of conversation across the country, including here in Central Mass. Our Kathryn Andreoli explains.
Early voting is underway throughout Massachusetts, with many voters required to show a form of identification if they're casting their ballot for the first time.
Most of them, when they come in here to vote, we see their ID. It's flagged, we verify their address, we verify their license or the last four numbers of their Social Security.
Providing a form of identification has become a requirement for voters across the nation. Now some believe it's becoming a concern and even linked it to voter suppression.
In 2013, the Supreme Court overturned one of the most fundamental parts of the Voting Rights Act of 1965. And so as a result, there is less oversight of voting and elections on a state-by-state basis. A very controversial and widely discussed and debated topic, and it tends to affect communities of color in particular.
Worcester State University held a voting rights symposium on Tuesday, discussing the impacts of voter ID laws and redistricting voting across the country.
People are talking about voter fraud. It seems to me and to a lot of people who are concerned with these issues that the real concern is actually voter suppression and people's ability to feel comfortable and safe going to the polls.
The issue has been part of a larger national conversation about voter ID rights throughout the election. But some people we spoke with say they don't believe showing an ID to vote is an issue.
It's the same for anyone. If you're flagged, you can be any demographic.
In Massachusetts, you may need to show an ID if you're voting for the first time, your registration status is inactive, or a poll worker has some reasonable suspicion that leads them to request your ID.
You're a good citizen and you have no reason to be afraid to show your name and give your license. I don't see a problem with it.
And that was Kathryn Andreoli.